What is your perspective on how the country has changed in the last 4 weeks?
Well, I'm not sure we have a perspective yet. We are really, everybody's so deep into the sorrow and pain and the need to fight this war and win it. So if there's a role for leadership now is to make sure we understand we have to merge out of this situation better people with better relations among ourselves and also more secured. We have to make sure, I mean, if there is one strategy to the state of Israel is to make sure those people who are in the villages near our border can go back to their homes safe and sound and secured and convinced that they have behind them a country that can protect them.
No doubt security is top of mind for everybody. Benjamin Netanyahu says there will be no ceasefire until the hostages are released. There are also reports around a humanitarian pause of sorts during which some of the hostages could be freed. What would you do if you were Prime Minister?
Well, it's a good thing that while we are prioritizing, we put the hostages on the top of the list. I mean, along with winning this war against Hamas, these are two are attached to each other. So yes, we will have to take some steps on the way down to release as many of the hostages as possible. I don't want to get into details because this is it's a hostage situation. And in a hostage situation, you don't want to push the intelligence out of the necessary envelope. So basically, yes, I would go and I would take some all the necessary measures in order to release as many hostages as possible.
But would you release some and not all?
The goal of the state of Israel is to release all the hostages without differentiating civilians from soldiers, young from old. We need to have everybody back home, all 241 hostages. I've been sitting with them on daily basis. You know, you discuss the stories. I sat with Avichai the other day. His wife and 3 children has been taken hostage. I sat the day before with Yoni, his wife and 2 children. One is 4.5 and one is 2.5, has been taken hostage. This is heartbreaking and this needs to be solved, and the entire international community should stand shoulder to shoulder with us in the effort to release all the hostages.
Heartbreaking indeed. We're hearing daily more and more stories. So many families waiting for word on their loved ones. Even if the Hamas threat is eradicated in the Gaza Strip, the Hezbollah threat remains up north. Do you think that Israel should take more aggressive action against Hezbollah and Hassan Nasrallah right now?
Well, I think we will have to deal with it sooner or later, and we have to make sure that UN Resolution 1701 is the reality on the ground, meaning Hezbollah is being pushed back into Lebanon and from our borders. Again, the strategy of the state of Israel should be that people can live on our borders in safety, and part of it is making sure Hezbollah is not sitting on the villages up north. I don't think that right now it's a good time for anybody to have a miscalculation that will lead into another conflict up north. I think Hezbollah understands this as well. I mean, we were taken by surprise on October 7th. We will not be surprised now. If anything, we are angry and at the peak of our readiness. So yes, eventually we will have to address the problem of Hezbollah up north. I don't think this is the right timing.
There's much speculation, as you well know, about the day after the war. What does it look like in your eyes? What level of security involvement do you think Israel should have, and who realistically could be involved in this transition period?
Well, I think the best, we only have bad choices, but between those bad choices, the lesser bad is that the Palestinian Authority will be back in Gaza. They have the infrastructure there. They have 20-some thousand people already working for them in Gaza, with a very strong support system of the international community and the Arab world. But on top of this, we will have to maintain our ability to enter Gaza whenever we think it's necessary in order to secure our borders. So it's going to be some sort of a B zone, B area like we have in the West Bank, in which which the Palestinian Authority is running things on the civil side of it, and Israel has the security control over what is happening.
But Mahmoud Abbas has no credibility amongst his own people. His support is so low. So how is that even a viable option?
Well, first of all, it is a viable option because this is what is going on the West Bank. On the other, and besides, this is why I said we're going to need an unprecedented support system from the international community and the Arab world. Saudis, the Jordanians, the Egyptians, the Emirates, everybody's must be involved.
Talking about the international involvement, what is your take on this alarming uptick in anti-Semitic incidents around the globe, the anti-Israel demonstrations in several centers? Is Israel doing enough to make the international community aware of what is actually going on here?
Well, obviously not. We are losing a battle we should have won. I mean, think of it. Those young people, this is the Z generation, they are more than anything else misinformed, and there's no justification to this kind of ignorance. They don't even know that, they don't even understand the difference between Hamas and the Palestinian Authority. They don't understand that Hamas is actually an organization that is against the two-state solution. That when they shout free Palestine or from the river to the sea, they don't understand that they're talking about the elimination of the state of Israel. So the magnitude of idiocy in this demonstrations is unbelievable to me, and we must do a better job in social networks, in getting to talk to the people who are involved. I spend my nights now talking to senators and Congress people and influential people in the United States mostly, but also in Europe, trying to explain to them what is really going on here. It's heartbreaking, this rise of anti-Semitism, because it says, well, they saw how they are killing the Jews and now they want to blame the Jews for being killed. So I keep asking them, what do you want us to do? Just to die more politely? To die more quietly? We're not going to do this.
Brings me to my exact next point, the media coverage, obviously in the spotlight. You're also a former journalist. What is your take on seeing Gazan photographers being at the border fence to capture pictures of that terror onslaught on the 7th of October? Your thoughts?
Well, my first thought is, how come they're still having a CNN badge on the uniform? I mean, if you are part of this attack, you're not a journalist, you're an assassin. If you are part of this attack, you are somebody who was part of butchering children and burning people alive and beheading them, and then you are transferring your objective report. I think it's a stain on reporting, and I think the fact that we're waiting for a blunt answer to what a blunt response from all those media bodies to what we have just discovered.
And one of those photographers is pictured in the past hugging Yahya Sinwar, an architect of those massacres. Certainly many questions to be asked there. Thank you very much for your time. One last very brief question. Do you see yourself as being Prime Minister again in Israel?
You know what? For the first time ever, I don't care. The only thing I care about is us winning this war and making sure that the Israelis live in safety. This is way more important than politics.
Thank you so much. Yair Lapid, Israeli leader of the opposition Yesh Atid party and former Prime Minister of Israel. Appreciate you speaking to us on i24 News. Thank you.
Thank you, Benita.